Hi everybody, Steve Grippers here, developer of the MTPredictor software program. In this video I'd like to take a look at the US E-minis and how they unfolded yesterday, which was February the 15th. In particular, I'd like to look at the larger degree trend and see how this influenced our choice of setups on the 3 and 5 minute charts as the day progressed. And this is particularly relevant because we were talking about this in our trading webinar yesterday at the time as well. So all these comments were said at the time before the market or as the market was unfolding yesterday. So let's skip through the 15-minute charts and see what we could see. Well, yesterday there wasn't much on the NQ because it went straight up and went to new highs. On the Russell Index as well there wasn't much, and it was just chopping around within a prior range. But then two important ones, and I'll just take these levels off so we can see what we're looking at the time. The two important ones were on the ES. Now if I scroll back to before yesterday opened, what we're looking at in the webinar was to take a DP, which again is really easy. We just click choose swing high or low. We came off our prior major pivot here and said that we had 15-minute resistance up here. Now remember, this was on our chart before the market even opened yesterday. And as we can see, the market went up, made a high in this decision point level before we declined sharply for the rest of the day. If I look at the YM, exactly the same situation unfolded. This is the DP I placed on the chart in yesterday's webinar. Again, remember that this DP was placed on the chart before the market even opened yesterday. In other words, we knew this was a resistance level before the market even got there. And at the time of the webinar, we were looking at a buy setup on a 3-minute chart, and I'll come on to that in a minute. But what I was talking about was this 15-minute chart was at 15-minute DP resistance. And as you can see, the market declined, and in fact it declined all the way down to stop at the DP from the prior low, and just look where the low of the day was yesterday as well. So here we had our decision point targets nailing the exact high and the exact low of the YM yesterday, which is very nice. So okay, now we know that we were at 15-minute DP resistance on particularly the YM and ES. Let's go down let's go down and look at our shorter term charts. Now what I was looking at was these buy setups. I was actually saying at the time that even though this was a valid buy setup for standard traders because it was with the STF color, I was saying that the market was probably not going to go up and reach this first target because we're at 15-minute resistance. In fact, I said it would probably chop sideways and if anything go sideways or down, and as you can see that's exactly what happened, with the market making a new high here, but only up to, if I put the decision point on from that peak, only up to that decision point level there before backing off significantly. So that's what I said at the time, that these buy setups were probably not a good idea because the large degree trend had turned down. NQ made a nice DP sell at the high there, but the trade that would have been nice on the NQ was this TS3 sell here. You can see I've already placed the analysis on the chart. The STF was black, so it was a standard trade setup, and it was also nice that it fitted in with a large degree trend, so a very nice plus 2R profit there. But the chart I want to look at is the YM. Now remember again, because we're at 15-minute resistance there, I was saying that buy setups, even though they're in the direction of the STF color, excuse me, were not a good idea. What I was suggesting at the time was the market was probably or more than likely going to decline, therefore ideally we should be looking for sell setups. And guess what unfolded? Here it was, a TS3 sell. Notice this is against the blue STF, and of course this will always happen with trades that unfold early in a new trend. They'll always be against the lagging STF, but that's why we use our 15-minute charts to gauge our large degree trend. So here we had this setup here that was actually in the direction of our downtrend as set by our 15-minute charts. So the next question is, if our large degree trend is down, do we really want to come out at the first target? Well, no, we don't. In fact, actually, we want to be aiming for at least the typical wave 3 WPT, because this will be a holy grail trade setup, where this is a wave 1, a choppy wave 1, but an initial decline, we'll say, an initial decline off the high. we then had an initial correction that moved sideways at an ABC. This will be considered wave 2. We're now looking for a wave 3 decline. So if we put the risk reward analysis on at our typical wave 3 WPT, we're looking for at least a 4.8 hour trade. When the market got to this level, the STF here was strong because it was beyond our strength band. Therefore, we simply use our ATR stop to trail the market, and we'd have come out about here. So if I put the risk reward on, the result of this trade would have been a very nice profit into about this level for a 5.4 hour trade. So a great example here of how the larger degree trend was set by our 15-minute charts, and because of that we were then able to avoid buy setups that basically went nowhere, and also we were able to maximize our profit on our short trade because our short trade was in the direction of the 15-minute trend. And again, this isn't done with hindsight because this DP on the 15-minute ES, and particularly this one on the 50-minute YM, again, I was talking about at the time in our trading webinar yesterday. So it's nice to see how the market's unfolded since then, particularly on this TS3 sell setup here, and as you can see was a very nice result indeed. So a great example here on how the market unfolded with multi-degree time frame analysis. In other words, we're looking at the 15-minute charts for our trend. We're then gauging our short-term charts with trades in the direction of that 15-minute trend.